So there are two ways of looking at the time that we're in right now. Obviously, we're living in strange times. We all know this. And the year that we're coming to is the year Pei Aleph. There's a lot to talk about, Bez Hashem, in the coming videos. The two dimensions, I think, in experiencing, putting ourselves in the right mind in the current times. One of them a little more external, the other one deeper. Both of them are a Mashiach state of mind. One is that we're living in the pre-Mashiach age right now, and therefore we're experiencing certain darknesses that are a prelude to the light. Another deeper understanding is that we're actually already living in the light of Mashiach, and that the events that we are experiencing are really Mashiach events if we uncover their full truth. It would be similar to the difference of a Jew's general reaction to things that happen. One of them is Kol Da'avad Rachmana Litav Avid. That means that everything Hashem does, which Rabbi Akiva said, everything that Hashem does is for the sake of good. The other one is Gamzu L'Taiva. This too is for the good. The Rebbe explains the difference between the two is as follows. Kol Da'avad Rachmana L'Tav Avid means everything Hashem does is for the good, which would mean that it itself might be bad, but it's a necessity. It's a necessary darkness for a greater light. Or the deeper understanding is that this too is light, Gamzu L'Taiva. The Rebbe explains that this is, who said it, that the difference between these two statements are, because we were entering into the Golus. Nachem Ish Gamzu still lived in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, and therefore he can see that this too is good. Rabbi Akiva, which was already the next generation, was a generation after the Beis HaMikdash wasn't standing, so he couldn't perceive anymore the depth of it, that this too is good, but that this too will lead to good. So just like when we're going into the Gullus, we go in two stages. We go from Gamzu L'Taiva into Kol Da'avad Rachmana L'Tav Avid. When we're coming out of the tunnel, when we're coming out of the exile, we also go through these two phases. One is Kol Da'avad Rachmana L'Tav Avid. We can see in the darkness things that happen now that they're a prelude to Mashiach. And then we go deeper than that. We can see already Gamzu L'Taiva, the more we're emerging out. Today's thought is one of Kol Da'avad Rachmana L'Tav Avid. It's more of an external thought compared to a deeper thought in current events. So one of the things I noticed yesterday, I went to a mikveh, and there was a sign in the mikveh recommending social distancing. But it said it in Hebrew. It said in English and in Hebrew. I was reading it in Hebrew. It said, the lashon is that it says, Richuk Chavruti, that it be, right? It's social distancing. And it clashed in my mind. Richuk, because I saw it in Hebrew, it made such a loud splash. It contradicted what we say in Pirkei Avos, that Eina Torah Niknas, these are the ways that the Torah gets acquired, and it gives a whole list of the Memches Dvarim, 48 things in which the Torah is acquired. One of the things is Dibuk Chaverim. So we have the contrast, Richuk Chavrusi versus Dibuk Chaverim. In Kedusha, there is Dibuk. In Klippa, there is Richuk. Same as also, the other thing is that we're all covering our faces, which means a certain concealment, a certain cover-up. And if the person's face is the face of Hashem, as we know, B'Tselem Elokim Asa Adam, we reflect godliness. Our face is covered is a reflection of Hashem's mouth, Kiviyachol, being covered. So what is that idea? That's not Geula, that's Galus. So the thought that occurred to me is that based on what the Alter Rebbe says in Parshas Ve'era, in the Maimer, Vadaber L'Kim Al Moshe, the second Maimer in Parshas Ve'era, is a fascinating Maimer in Torah Or, where the Alter Rebbe explains that before there is an unbelievable Giloi, before there is an unbelievable revelation of godliness, there has to be first a pullback. And the way when I learned it then, I remember experiencing it more like the ocean. Before, they say before the tsunami comes and the powerful waves are going to come out and like go way farther than they usually come, there suddenly is a big pullback where the waters recede all the way in, And that's an indication that they're really going out really, really far. So before the Gilui comes the Hester. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu cried out to the Eibishter. There was the darkness of Mitzrayim, and then there was the extra darkness that happened right before. And Hashem said to him, now you will see. Atosira, now you will see. Because it got so dark, as a sign, it will be the great light. So before the time when we're going to have the ultimate dibuk chaverim, when all Jews are going to be so deeply, there'll be no more social distancing. We won't have any distance. We'll be together. Not only the Jewish people, but v'yasu kulam aguda echos. All of humanity will be together. There is a period of time right before that where there is a separation. Same as also before the ultimate gilui of Hashem's mouth, that everybody will see that Hashem is speaking. There is this universal closing of the mouth, a stima sapeh, a stima that comes before the gilui. When we wear it to see it already now, the revelation.